I'm re-releasing these 3D prints to commemorate this project. I'll be selling them on my website, but I'll be giving one away to someone that answers a question at the end of the video. Enjoy the video, guys. I was talking to a friend right before the Oscars, and I said I never want to tune into these things anymore, because everything is so predictable. I said that you won't miss much if you just checked out the list of final winners after the show. Needless to say, this year was different. I woke up to a ton of articles, and every social feed blowing up about their stance on the subject. The video itself got 35 million views overnight. And there it was, the unpredictability factor of live television suddenly coming back in one award show. Although a much different scenario that didn't involve assault, it wasn't surprising that people naturally compared it to the incident of 2009. It was almost inevitable. Whoever organized the show clearly placed every chess piece in the right position. Sit the unwell man with a bottle of Hennessy right at the front, wait for a controversial win to happen, and see if something sparks. Taylor Swift was invited to the VMAs to sing You Belong With Me. She was also nominated for the same video. The bottle dropped lower and lower throughout that night, and soon enough, the category for the best video by a female artist was here. There were a few other contendants, but most importantly, Beyonce's Single Ladies was nominated as well. As Taylor Swift began to accept her win, she stated that she's always dreamed about winning one of these, but never thought it would actually happen. Further stating, "Thank you so much for giving me a chance to win a VMA award." Cue in a Hennessy bottle deep Kanye, rushing up to the stage saying, "Yo Taylor, I'm really happy for you, I'ma let you finish." But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time. The crowd was in shock. A pre-recorded segment of Tracy Morgan and Eminem was abruptly cut to, and he was ushered out of the building shortly after. Like many people predicted, Beyonce actually won the award for Best Music Video of the Year, and stated I'd like to give Taylor her moment within her acceptance speech. That same night, Kanye wrote a massive apology, saying that he was in the wrong to do what he did, but he still believes his stance. He gave his award to Outkast when he believed that they should have won, finishing the statement with, "I'm not crazy y'all, I'm just real. Sorry for that. I really feel bad for Taylor and I'm sincerely sorry. Much respect." The aftermath would be much worse than what we would ever expect, as the idea still comes back today. Barack Obama called him a jackass, and artists like Kelly Clarkson and Katy Perry got some words in as well. It's almost like the perfect narrative was created, a narrative that would haunt him over a decade later. In reality, Taylor forgave Kanye, but it was a perfect story to torment Kanye with, the scary rapper who took the moment of an innocent 19-year-old pop singer. This narrative quite literally was set out to ruin Kanye. It was his first real deep hatred that he'd be buried in throughout his entire career. It's an unfortunate concept, but moments of tragedy lead to the greatest forms of creativity. It's like how artists proclaim how easy it is to write after a breakup, betrayal, or death. In reality, Kanye had two choices, to give up or carry on with his career. As this was the rise of social media, Kanye began getting death threats and an influx of torment that wasn't possible before Twitter. Lady Gaga pulled out from a tour with him, and he became the most hated man in America from one single moment. So he left America and began to write My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. He said that he felt like his life depended on this album, which in retrospect it did. Throughout this project, he'd come back to Hawaii for 6 months and continued the journey of this album without the spotlight. Around this time, we were given Good Fridays, free tracks each Friday that came with some of the best Kanye songs to date. This album crowned massive tracks such as Power, Runaway, and All of the Lights, with features like Kid Cudi, Jay-Z, and even Chris Rock. We all saw the turnout of this album and how it saved his career. I mean, it received a 10 out of 10 from Pitchfork and achieved 1 million units in sales. But a month before this album was released, on October 23rd of 2010, we got a glimpse of his other choice, retirement, or as some proclaimed, death. Never See Me Again is a track that was unfinished, but brought deep emotion that we've never really seen from Kanye before. Before his self-exile out of the United States, he recorded this 9.5-minute track, which was quite exquisite for a leak. What a lot of people discredit is the events leading up to the VMAs. Donda passed away in 2007. His fiancée, Alexis Pfeiffer, ended things in 2008, and the VMAs incident happened barely a year later. His exile to the United States involved moving to Japan for a month. This is likely where he got the samples from Japanese artist Yukiko Okada of the song No Ceremony. This song has a theme of parting ways from a lover. This subject became much more meaningful a year later, when at 18 years old, she took her life. This was later said to be due to rejection from an older actor, who only saw her as a younger sister. In April of 1986, this tragedy led to a spike of 114 others taking their lives, double the amount of the previous month, creating the label the Yukiko Syndrome. This song holds themes of exile, being unloved. It holds the perspective of rock bottom. At this point, his mother is gone, his fiancé and the entirety of America is against him. The psychological effect of online harassment is seeping into his daily life. Something that's important to note throughout these lyrics is that he still stands with what he believes is true. Although he's sorry for his actions, he'll never be sorry for his beliefs. The lyrical matter in this first verse touches on how the media wants him to hold his head down in shame, further stating that aside from this song, life sucks. Later in verse 1, he calls back to breaking the engagement with Alexis Pfeiffer, stating that and every other god needs a goddess, and every other star couldn't guide us, holding strong similarity to the sample's subject of breakup. At the time, he tried to rebuttal this crash with Amber Rose, which clearly did not help things at all. In the hook, he restates the line, "And it'll be a long time before you ever see me again," which created this rumor of him taking his life, although a more likely outcome would be him entering retirement. Either choice would have the goal of making those who condemned him be filled with regret. The second verse is very Kanye-esque. He proves that he still has confidence even when he's all alone. At this moment, everybody that's hating him is still secondary. This confidence is followed by an ovation in the bridge, or rather pick me up in the middle of the song. Verse 3 holds the idea of not backing down, no matter how the critics view him. Maybe I should stop being real, maybe I should get on Twitter. The lyric "I can stand and deliver till they pump my liver" still shows that he holds true to the words that he said. He'll be standing for what he believes in even till the very end. The second last verse is the transition of him already being gone. "Don't worry about what I've been up to, where the fuck I'm going, not where are you going," followed by a similar hook of "Don't worry about me, just worry about you. It'll be a long time before you ever see me again." In the final verse, he explains that he was under Exodus, and that he's learning what a lesson is. Exodus directly translates to the departure, or his personal exile from America. He wishes he can go back to the beginning, when he says, "I wish I can just take it back to the book of Genesis," with Genesis directly translating to the beginning, or in Kanye's case, before he made a name for himself. Instead now, he's looking at the end of it all, contemplating if things would have been better if he could just go back to the start, the days before money, girls, or fame. The final hook concludes the entirety of Kanye's career. He'll be gone. You won't know where he'll be, and you'll never see him again. This influx of hate was great enough to drive him to his point. He knows that they'll want him back, but he ensures that it'll be a long time before they ever see him again. The hook fades and we get a whole minute loop, without Kanye. At this point, he's gone. The eerie roots of the soft piano keys loop over and over again, giving us a moment to sit there and be grateful that this was never a reality, as this was never officially released. Instead, we're met with today's timeline, the release of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and the strongest comeback of an artist, arguably of all time. He further went to create 6 studio albums, Yeezy, and level up to be one of the greatest artists in our day. Whatever his true purpose of Never See Me Again was, clearly wasn't the chosen outcome. Twitter and Instagram give us this sense of anonymity. Over a decade later after this incident, hatred on these platforms have gotten nothing but worse. I read an article on the science of hiding behind a screen, stating that the retreat behind a screen is a way of retaining control over the encounter, while minimizing the need to acknowledge the other's point of view. Thousands of accounts spew hatred each day. They feel like they have control behind a profile picture. I feel like there's nothing less credible than someone who hides behind an avatar, or those who are secondary, according to Kanye. He's made waves in the industry, and has shown the come up from an excruciating breakdown more than once. I strongly believe that Kanye serves as a great inspiration for choosing to go further, even when being beaten down. The world was against him and he literally came back stronger than ever. which is a lesson that we can forever hold on to, thanks to everyone's favorite artist, Kanye West. Now I want to hear from you guys. Do you think that Kanye actually contemplated retirement? Also, where would you rank My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy in his discography? Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.